Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Last First Date Radio, featuring interviews with experts in dating, relating, and mating in midlife. And now, here's your host, Sandy Weiner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Last First Date Radio. This is Sandy, and I am back from Israel. I've done my last few shows from Israel using my daughter's cell phone with, you never know if the phone's going to work in Israel. So I am so happy to be back in the United States using my own connection here, which I know is going to work. And I don't have laryngitis like I had a few weeks ago. It's all good except for the fact that I woke up at 2 a.m. and I'm on total jet lag. But what's exciting is we actually are talking to somebody from Israel today. And her name is Orion Talmay, and she's going to be speaking about relationship secrets your mother didn't tell you. And I love everything that Orion stands for. It's going to be a really great show. And I want you to know that I run a Facebook group for about 2,000 women, and it's a private group, so you're all invited to join if you're a woman and you're over 40. We've had a lot of men try to get in, but we don't allow men in there because it's a safe space for women to be able to talk about relationship and dating issues. And recently we had a man who was trying to get in, and he was talking to a lot of the women in the group. He was private messaging them, and it was kind of creepy. He had been following me on my newsletter, and he found me on Instagram, and he was following me all over the place, and somehow he got access to my group, but he couldn't get in, but he could see who some of the members were. So we got rid of him. So anyway, the main point is that this is a private group to support you. And what I see often is that people's ability to pick the right partner is a little bit broken. And we often attract in men who are not good for us, men who are don't treat us well, who are unkind, who give us crumbs of attention, and then we continue to go back to the wrong man. So I developed a 5-day free challenge to help you improve your man picker, and I want you to look for that. It's coming up soon, so if you're on my email list, you're going to get it there. If you're following me on Facebook, you'll see it there. So follow me on Facebook at Last First Date. Join my Facebook group, which is Your Last First Date, and you'll find out all the details. It's going to be launched in just a few days. I'm super excited about it. Every week I bring you a tip on how to be a woman of value, and this week's tip is step number 22, which is forgive yourself and others. Why do we need to forgive ourselves? Well, we often are beating up on ourselves for things we did in the past, and we should forgive ourselves because we were doing the best we could with the information that we had at the time. So without self-compassion, it's very hard to be open to love and to have others love us. And the reason we forgive others is because it's for us. If you're holding on to anger and pain of the past, it's just going to hold you back. So forgive, let go, move on, stop holding on to what somebody did to you. It's so important to be able to do that. Okay, so Orion, we're going to introduce you right now. She is a love coach and an international speaker. She works with successful high achievers, and she helps them unleash their feminine power and become a magnet for conscious relationships in love. She's the founder of Orion's Method and the host of the popular podcast Stellar Life. She helps women love themselves more, elevate their confidence, ignite their passion, and create a sense of freedom, ease, and flow. I love it all. Her method is combining the physical, mental, sensual, and spiritual aspects to create an integrated transformation. She's a world traveler. She just got back from Israel, too. And she has learned from leading luminaries in personal development, health, wellness, spirituality, relationships, and sexuality arenas. So join me now for episode number 283, Relationship Secrets Your Mama Didn't Tell You. Welcome to the show, Orion.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be a great topic. So secrets your mama didn't tell you. So let's start with, I always like to ask my guests what led them to do this work. Did something happen in your life that was some pivotal moment that you said, oh, my God, I've got to help other people?
Yes. I've been through my own journey of transformation from dating the wrong people, ending up in an abusive relationship, ending up in a hospital bed, and enduring about 2 years of depression and getting myself out of that through anything I could grasp, anything that is about self-development. I was watching funny videos and then reading books about transformation and attending seminars. And because I made that change for myself and I know what it's like, I have the tools and also the emotional depth to help others, and that became my mission because I had mentors that, reached out to me and pulled me up, and now I see this is my mission to reach out to other women and pull them up and help them rise and help them awaken their inner goddess and feel juicy, sexy, and alive and wonderful.
I love it. I love your passion. I can hear it. I'm sorry you had to go through that abuse, but it was a catalyst for you to grow and to help others. And I really believe that if we've suffered in any way, if we can use it as a tool to help us to grow and to help other people, that's the life lesson learned. And in Hebrew, we talk about tikkun, which is to repair. So I absolutely love
Kabbalah?
this term. I studied Kabbalah a little bit. I actually sat next to a man on the airplane who was talking to me about tikkun and the ability to repair. So actually, can you address that for a minute? What does even tikkun olam, repairing the world, just to really just give us a quick glimpse into that, and then we'll get into your work more.
Okay, wonderful. I'm not a Kabbalah teacher, but I've been studying it for my own private joy and self-development. Kabbalah it's like Sufism in Islam, which is just spirituality that is not necessarily related to the religion. Kabbalah is a way of ancient self-development. It's got everything that you can find in people that teach self-development, like the biggest names in the world. You can actually find in Kabbalah, which is just ancient. And tikkun is the principle of correction, meaning that our soul, we do believe in the soul comes to the world a few times, and if you didn't correct something from your previous life, you come to this world and you correct it in this life. So when I see my correction, I see the suffering that I went through is a part of my correction. It helps me. It was kind of like the melting pot, the thing that helped me purify and become more of who I am, more of my true potential. And now I see my past as a gift. It's just that it's a gift with a bow on the bottom. You can't see it. You go through the stages of fear and pain, and you feel like a victim, and then you rise slowly but surely, and then when you look back at some point in your life that you thought were the most horrible events you've ever experienced, you look back and you say, wow, without this, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So we all have our own tikkun, we all have our own correction, and if we don't fulfill it in this lifetime, we will have the same correction in the next lifetime.
That's a good explanation. And just today, one of my clients asked me.
I don't know much about it, not like a teacher.
Well, I think just the idea of, I'm not an expert in Kabbalah either, and this isn't a Kabbalah conversation, but I think the idea of being able to really work on ourselves is a lot of people think, oh, it's in my DNA to be this way. Like it's in my DNA to be a people pleaser, to be to be a victim. My mother once said to me, "Oh, I'm a martyr because I come from a long line of martyrs. So that's why I am the way I am." And I said, "Yeah, I come from the same line of martyrs, Mom. It's a choice that we have to say, okay, no more." And so, the messages that the universe brings us, like whether it's we have to set clear boundaries with others, and we keep having people cross our boundaries until we go, okay, universe, I get it. I've got to set clear boundaries, and then we start to really heal those parts of us that were not healthy, and that's how we begin to draw in the right relationships to us. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your method, the Orion's method, and tell us what that is.
Orion's method is my method of transformation. It comes from me experiencing whatever I experienced and getting over some hardships. It also comes from the leaders and luminaries I studied with. It's ever growing, ever expanding, and it's Orion is an acronym. O stands for open your heart. R, release the past and return to love. I, ignite your passion. O, own yourself and your feminine power. That's for my ladies. And N, nourish your body, mind, and spirit. So we're not one-dimensional. In order to create true transformation in our lives and in our love lives, we need to take care of, like you said, the mind, the body, and the spirit. We are holistic beings, and that's why in my method I address everything, the body, the mind, the spirit, everything.
Okay, I'm going to have you back up for 1 minute. I got the O is open your heart, R is release the past. What was the I?
Ignite your passion.
Okay, ignite your passion, and the O?
Is ownership, owning yourself and your feminine power. And N is nourishing your mind, body, and spirit. It always begins. Yes, everything begins with healing. You heal the pain of the past, and then you have space to move forward, and you open up more to more opportunities. Also, using our bodies as a source of bliss is really important because sometimes we have issues that are stored in our tissues, and we get this tightness in our body, and it's almost like it's a physical block that represents a mental block. And because the mind and the body are connected, you can release the body through spiritual work, and you can create transformation through body work. So I'm a big believer in getting some physical healing, and also using, for the ladies, using feminine movement to release blocks. And when I say feminine movements, I'm talking about that movement that is of the feminine, something like belly dancing, pole dancing, tribal dancing, anything that will allow you self-expression and allow your feminine body to move the way she is designed. We move in curvy ways. We don't move, like a man is like an H and a woman is like an S. We have curves and we need to move them. And when we move our bodies in a certain way, we can also move the emotions and move out the negative emotions. Another part is connecting to divine love, connecting to guidance, connecting to the universal Google, because there is the illusion of separation, the illusion of we are alone. And from that point of attraction, we don't attract what we really need. But when you are connected to divine love, and you know that you are always held, and you really embody the concept of oneness and the fact that you are connected to everything, to the earth, to other people, to the sky, to everything, and you feel that the divine love, and you feel God, and God is an experience. It's not a concept. So it's about taking some actions in order to feel God, not just to think God. It's that experiencing God in a way that you cannot explain in words, just like you cannot explain the flavor of strawberries in words. Also for women, it's a part of awakening that inner goddess, awakening the part of them that is goddess-like, that is of the feminine. This world is hard. We tend to really develop our masculine muscle. I know I've done it in the past a lot. And we also need to develop our feminine muscle. We are yin and yang, but many women are just, they feel too hard. They feel like they have to conquer and be driven and focused all the time. And those things are important, and it's not about losing those traits, but it's also about, flexing the feminine muscles, learning what it's like to have more fun, to live in flow, to release, to be vulnerable, to be open, to connect to nature more, something that it's good for us, it's important for us to connect with. And then you create some kind of it's almost like a third entity, and it's your own personal equation between the masculine, feminine, and then the third entity that you create for yourself, of what percentage of the masculine and feminine energy would you like to embody. Because in relationship you need polarity. And polarity, it's like that when you put two magnets and there is this powerful static between the magnets, that's the polarity. And for females, if they want to be in a relationship with a masculine, strong, powerful man, it will be helpful for them to flex that feminine muscle, that goddess, and create that third entity for themselves.
Yes. This is, we just had like a major big blow up in my group just a few hours ago about I had a man who wrote me an email about some of the problems he sees with dating today. And so I posted the email in my group, and some of the things he said were about the 21st century woman and how she behaves in ways that make him feel that she doesn't need a man. And I'm not sure his wording, but a lot of women took offense and said, what does he want, that women should be in the kitchen, and he's so controlling, and and I disagreed with that. I think we have this issue where women don't need a man in the same way that they used to, and they're out in the workforce, and they're having all this masculine energy displayed out in the workforce, and they're managing everything at home, and a man comes into their lives and they don't show up with any femininity at all. It's like, I got this, a man offers them, they're planning the date, they're doing everything, they don't trust a man, and we've forgotten how to bring this beautiful feminine. It's not to dumb down the masculine parts of us, but to really amp up the feminine, because otherwise we don't have that beautiful polarity. And so many people don't get that. We're not looking for clones of each other, because you're going to have some boring relationship where everybody's predictable and nobody's really attracted. You need that push and pull. So I think this is so important. I love the body that you're talking about, the body work, because so much of our wisdom lies in our bodies. And I had a woman come to me, and we did some life coaching at my retreat, and she had her whole left side, from her jugular vein in her neck down her arm, was tight and in pain. And within 5 minutes of coaching, she completely relaxed and the pain went away. And all I did, I did body work with her. So it's just getting her to pay attention to her body. Where does she feel this in her body? We don't have to intellectualize everything. It's powerful. It's really powerful. Yeah.
And about your group, so I think that the men is right, and I think that the women are right. I think they're both right. They just there is no extreme here. When I say to a woman, connect to your femininity, I don't tell her to see her life as in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, and serving her husband. And for the man, I am not expecting him to be okay with a woman that is in her masculine 24/7, because if he's dating a woman who's in her masculine 24/7, he might as well just date another man. Emotionally, he does not want to date another man. So keep your masculine traits and everything that made you the beautiful, smart, successful person that you are. But with your men, you need to play the game of polarity. And even though you are strong and independent and you can carry the groceries by yourself, let him carry the groceries. Let him open the door for you. Let him change the light bulb. Allow him, even if it's hard for you, because you want to make him feel strong. A man desires to feel like he's your hero. And if you are tough and independent and I can do it all, then and he cannot serve you, he doesn't feel like a man. You have to allow your man to feel like a man, to feel like your hero. And it's a dance. It doesn't mean that all day long. You know, when I after my abusive relationship, I became really masculine, did martial arts, MMA, Aikido, became kick-ass, lifted the weight heavy, and I had this like really strong energy, feminine exterior, beautiful lady, mini skirts, whatever, but the energy was not there. The energy was like, I'm going to show you how strong I am, and I would, and that's what women do. Sometimes just to prove a point, girl power and all, we emasculate our men, and we need to be very conscious, because you as a woman, you have the power to elevate your man, and you have the power to crush him, destroy him, emasculate him, and you don't want that, because in a polarity, when one side is in the masculine, the other one will be in the feminine. And when a woman goes too much in her masculine, even if she dates a man who is very much masculine in his core, in order to create polarity, he will drop into his feminine. So if this is the relationship that you want, then go ahead. But you need to know that regardless of being maybe a powerful CEO, with your men, you want to be maybe like a little girl sometime, a lustful lover, a vulnerable siren. You want to allow him to hold you. And it feels so good when you allow the right person, with emphasis on the right person. You have to choose the person carefully. When you allow him to hold you, then there is space for both of you to shine in your masculine or in your feminine.
Mhm. Yeah, I think what happens is women often lose trust, especially if there's been any kind of abuse in the past, or someone has stepped on your feelings and you didn't know how to express yourself. It's very difficult to just let go and be vulnerable. So I know that in my practice,
many times
we
go from one polarity to another.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we go from being open to being shut down, and then nobody can get through. So in order to invite, the love that people are seeking, what are some tips? Because it really has to start within. It has to start with your own self-love and your own confidence and core confidence. Not just you're confident all the time, but the kind of confidence that shows that you value yourself. So what are some tips you can share to help women love themselves more and feel more confident?
Mm-hmm. So first we talked about taking care of yourself first and loving yourself first, not waiting for somebody to tell you, I love you, but starting by telling yourself, I love you. Louise Hay says that when something good happens, run to the mirror and say, I love you. When something bad happens, run to the mirror and say, I love you no matter what. And, I had my own 7-day challenge that I did with my ladies, and the first day of the challenge was mirror work from Louise Hay, meaning go to the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. And it was hard for many women. They struggled with it. And when I went through my dark times, the first time I did it, I couldn't, because I started to cry. But I kept, and it's about persistence. It's like going to the gym and working almost every day to improve that muscle. You can just do it once and let it go. I went to the mirror, I said, I love you, I started crying. The next day I cried again. A few times down the road, I was okay with that. And then I started believing in it, and now I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I love you, and truly believe it, and really love me. Not from a place of ego, from a place of Just love it. Just the way, when we were babies, we love ourselves. We don't care about the way we look. When you see babies look in the mirror, they laugh. They're like, "Yay, I'm cute." So love yourself like you loved yourself when you were a baby. It's not wrong. It's good. It's okay. Give you permission to do it. And with relationships, it is a new world, and it's so confusing. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and she was like, I was this like diehard feminist, and now 20 years later, I have 4 kids. I go home, I work, I make the money. I go to work, I make money, I come home, I feed my kids, I take care of the house. I end up doing everything. And now I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should be held a little more because this is too hard. It's like we need to do double the work. So it's about taking the coaching, listening to empowering information like your show, and really learning how to handle modern life, because modern life is more complex. There is so much information. Everything is faster. So we need to learn new and better techniques to even deal with our relationships. Another tip will be gratitude. When you're in a relationship, gratitude is one of the most important things. One thing that I do with my husband every night, and I study that from Harville Hendricks, is every night before we go to bed, we say 3 things to each other that we appreciate about each other. So it can be very simple things like, "Oh, I love you for doing the dishes. Thank you for calling Verizon for me. And I love your beautiful eyes." 3 things. Because we tend to go into the negative, and we need to focus our mind into the positive and to remind ourselves why we love our partner so much. And
so if you're not in a partnership, what would you suggest in terms of gratitude?
Just be grateful for yourself. Pat yourself on the back. If you are in a place, this is an exercise I gave my client where she's like, she did not understand how amazing and beautiful and powerful she is. And the exercise that I gave her was, please write down all your victories, all those moments in your life that you achieved something incredible, all those moments where you did something great. And she's an amazing client. She does everything I tell her, and she just, I can see her blossoming. It's awesome. And she did it, and she wrote it down. And after you write down all your achievement, and you get into gratitude for the person that you are and the person you become, you just feel amazing.
It's really true. I think people were wired to focus on what doesn't work. And I remember even raising my children, it was always like, what are they doing wrong? Not what are they doing right? And that was a big switch that I had to flip in my parenting was, tell them you're noticing when they're doing something really well and that they're following directions and that they were so kind. And so I think it's something that we probably have been told our whole lives. You did that wrong. You weren't good enough. You didn't get a good enough grade. Why didn't you get 100? You only got 95. And so we have to really give that to ourselves now as adults to build back our self-esteem.
Mm-hmm. Another tip that I would like to share is about accepting your emotions, which is a big deal for people. In this new age of spirituality and instant transformation, it is a very masculine way to say, just change your state like this really quickly. When I went to Oneness University, which is an ashram in India, and I studied from the monks there, and the monks said, let the tiger devour you. So when you have an emotion, anger, pain, shame, whatever it is, if you try to escape it, it will just show up in a different way. So you want to be present with your emotion, and you want to feel it. You want to let the tiger devour you. So just don't stay there for more than 10 minutes, an hour, a day, no more. So you allow yourself to feel your emotions, and then you let it go. And I think that the more you grow, the more you learn how to deal with your emotions, the time shrinks. So it goes from being upset for a week to being upset for 3 days to 1 day to an hour. You learn how to see the bigger picture faster. So it's about allowing your emotions, feeling your emotions, and then letting it go, not skipping that step.
Yeah, I think everybody forgets. People tend to forget that without practice, these things don't. The time doesn't shrink, and anything that we practice, the processing time gets shorter and shorter. And it even, has to do with, I talked in the beginning about the broken picker, like we're picking the wrong partners, and so we're attracted to the wrong men over and over. And then as we do this work, we may be attracted to the wrong man, but we don't act on it. We see them, we notice it, and then we walk away. So it's shortening, boom, you're done. Now you're with a healthy partner. So it's just important to practice all of these wonderful tips. Really appreciate all of this great information. Orion, this has been wonderful, and I know that people listening have so much to take away about increasing our feminine by movement and that S-curve. I'm thinking about pole dancing and how I took one pole dancing class and the name of the company was the S Factor.
Oh, yes.
So,
I studied with you. I love her.
Yeah, she's great. And so, we are, embrace who we are and the full package, the body and gratitude and focus on the good and release what doesn't work through practice. And this just sounds so rich and wonderful. What's one parting thought that you would like to leave with our audience?
Right. Okay. So there is a law of attraction. We all know about it. There is a law of action, which is also a universal law. So you always attract from your point of attraction, meaning that if you are on a higher vibration, you will attract a better person, better business, better opportunities. So it's important to take care of your own vibration on your own emotional world. Take care of your body. Take care of yourself. It's the number one thing you can do for yourself and for others, because when you feel good, everybody around you feel good, and you attract better. You attract things that are better. And also there is the law of action. You can't just sit and pray for things to show up, it's very powerful, but we are a spiritual being having a human experience, like Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say. So you have to take action, and you have to, get out there, date, take the right actions to attract the person of your dreams.
Yeah, a lot of people say, well, the right person will come. They'll find me if it's meant to be.
They'll knock on my door.
Yeah, they'll knock on my door. It'll fall through my roof. I'll trip over them as I leave the house. That's not how it works. So take the right kind of actions. I like that word, the right actions, because a lot of times you take the wrong actions or we're inactive, and that we do attract in at the vibration that we are. I totally agree with you. Thank you so much. And how can people find you, Orion?
Sure. You can go on my website, orionsmethod.com, and you can listen to my podcast, stellarlifepodcast.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for being my guest today and sharing this beautiful information and for the wonderful work that you do out in the world.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everybody, for listening today, and I hope you go on your last first date very soon. Bye-bye.